our bosses will be very upset about it. So it's making us stronger also, and we are really keen. So I think they are not only appreciating, but they are really motivating in a way for things to be better. So my hats off to them. Talking about the point, I would definitely agree. Like in our health sector, the educational system, like for example, the people who work with us, it's pretty amazing that like when a person becomes a doctor, the course study is mandatory that they have 1 year of house job, which is mandatory that they have to do it to be a fully registered practicing physician. But I think in no other field this training is part of the curricula, and this is a very big gap. When we get these, most of our technologists are definitely MSCs, predominantly in Karachi from University of Karachi, and now Jinnah University for ladies, females. And they don't, I mean, they are theoretically very correct, but they don't have any practical experiences. So I would really second that. I think training should be during their curricula and be all sectors. And I, for one, would take her advice, and I would really on this forum would announce that we will take now these students up in the health sector, in diagnostic fields, and we'll definitely help them out in their curricula. And you know, there's another problem with the curricula. I mean, it's the HR. After they come to the companies have, the HR has to communicate with the academic institution, because academic institutions are teaching they predominantly academically. Now what is on the grounds is totally separate, and the interaction is a must. So that's my suggestion. Now just finishing off my long sermon, before I warm up and I speak more, is apart from the training, you know that the fields are getting way too much specialized, and our needs have to be communicated to the academic institutions for our own benefit. And then the trainings in our institutions have to have those academic people around. So it's like a two-way program. And today we had these first time Hamdard University medical students, a bus load came to our lab and was seeing all the facilities and getting acquainted with them. So I think interactions are a must. And just finishing it off with this case, I think HR should be given the due importance, especially in the small enterprises, growing up enterprises, because when they start growing up and when they start converting from a state-run organization to a proper organization, then HR does play a role. And sometimes people need a pat on the back or a kick on the back also, which the HR should do. All right. Thank you. I think before it gets too late, I think maybe we can just start. And everybody is welcome to make some comments. What our two honorable panelists have just commented. But I would just take this advantage, being the presiding panelist. You have pointed out 2-3 things, I think, very rightly. First of all, that Pakistan's population actually is over 50% as far as female population is concerned, so they are dominating. True, so that's what I meant, yeah. So it's a higher population, but of course, as far as the workforce of the female population is concerned, it's not in the same proportion. In the rural areas, in the agriculture field, you can see a lot of females working over there beside their male partners, you know. But in the cities and in the professional, in the corporate sector, I think the percentage is far less at this time. But it's growing. I think the more and more females are getting educated and they are coming into the field and they are contributing. Regarding your comments, yes, and I think Farhan also made that comment that there is a disconnect into the curriculum that is being taught into our universities and colleges, as well as the practical side is concerned, you know. So I think like in developed countries, all the time they are reviewing your curriculum and they are trying to align it with the ground realities, what the industry needs, what kind of expertise are required, what kind of skills are required, and the curriculum is adjusted according to that, so that those people are produced, you know, which are useful for the industry and for the society, and be more productive right away after coming out of the university or colleges. In Pakistan, actually what happens when the people come out of university and college,
when they are hired, they expect that they will further be trained so that they are able to work for them, you know. But contrary to that, in developed countries, more preference is given to the youngsters who are coming out of the university because they are having a latest knowledge, latest technology, the latest know-how, and they are immediately able to contribute towards the productivity of the organization. So that is also a very important factor. That here, when they come out of university and colleges, then they are looking for opportunities and job, and because they don't have the experience, some organizations, you know, are reluctant to hire them. But that is not the case elsewhere. So, and the reason for that is because they are not fully groomed, developed, and taught in the university what is needed in the ground on the corporate side, on the industrial side. So I think that is extremely important, and Musaddiq also in his inaugural speech also mentioned about that. So there is a disconnect, and I think we need to make an effort on that one. Yes, please.
Sir, you've mentioned it right, that yes, young people are coming out, they want to go in and join an organization, and organizations are willing to keep up the upbeat generation. But my question is, since how many universities have your organization attended in going and giving an orientation on induction? That what sort of alumni or what sort of younger lot you're looking into? None. That is. So I guess then once the graduate is coming out and they don't know what they are, so basically there is a disconnect on the organization's part as well. So you see, they've said that it's a two-way communication, but you're not going back. I guess, in fact, I would rather say that we are not going back to the universities and telling them this is a type of university product we would like to hire in our institution. Are we doing that part? No, we are not doing that part. So why don't we come up with a proper forum on which all organizations can at least go to the leading universities, or not leading, mediocre universities, and tell them that these are the criteria, this is the personality, this is the mind frame in which people get hired, or like, you know, get hired on those forums. So unfortunately, then again, there is a disconnect from the employers end as well. They are not fulfilling the proper aesthetics of communication, basically.
I think that is extremely important, that this two-way communication should take place between the organizations and the universities and the institutions. And we have not yet been able to develop this whole communication, two-way communication. And definitely there is a gap in there, and there is a room for improvement there. But there are a lot of organizations who are taking people as an internees while they are going through their curriculum, and they are apprentices in the organizations, and they are trying to provide them the opportunity to come into the organization, spend 3, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah, please.
I think it's a valid point raised by the lady on the dais. Academia and industry collaboration is top of the town. Now people on all forums are talking. Now I'll give you an example of pharmaceutical industry. When any student who is a pharmacy doing his or her pharmacy has to spend 6 months in an industry. That's mandatory. To do that, they are not given the degree. So this has started now. So, but lady has rightly said that the spectrum has to be wider. Now, the problem, the manager, the human resource manager, previously, about a couple of decades back, I remember that when I was in university, nobody knew what HRM is. They called them admin manager, administration manager. So their role was to deal with the labor laws and timing, timekeeping, stuff like that. Now, what people are talking, they are talking of the development. How the team players become the integrator. How they integrate with each other. That's the main role of a HRM. एक ज़माने में जब यूनिवर्सिटी में हम जब बिजनेस स्कूल में पढ़ते थे तो हमारे उस्ताद ने हमें whatever they talk of the Johari window, Johari grade. What was Johari grade? If some of you might have read that, it was that every individual lives in his own universe and thinks that the universe, he is the pivot of the universe. And the universe revolves around him. Every individual walks in an organization, he thinks, I am the pivot of the universe and I am the most important person of this organization or setup. And the person says, how come you say that I am the pivot of the universe? Universe, I am the universe. And now can conflict start. The HRM role is call both gentleman or lady, whatever, tell them your universe, both of you have your individual universe, let's coexist. And then integration starts. Thank you, Kaleem Bhai, and I beg leave. Thank you.
I've listened to the lady as well as where, principally speaking, there was a time when, long ago, as very correctly pointed out by the gentleman here, that it was just a personnel manager, that's about all. He didn't have any role. He was the, as you call it, the army kutelite, he was on that side. But now I can see HR is really coming up very well. And HR is very important. I'll just make it short and sweet that I don't believe in qualifications. I'm an ex-army man. I fought the 71 war. I killed Indians with my own hands. And there I learned what is man management. Then I realized that this is almost the same thing as human resource. And development is that I have my head of business development sitting right here with me. She is an international affairs MA. And I felt, no, I think she easily gone to the logistics side. And, as you said, we grow people. So I have a team in which I've grown them. And I'm proud to say that two of my individuals, the operations head and the management head, and the BD head, topped the PIFA course. And stood second in them. So the point is to grow them and to give them that boost to go up, right up. And I still say degrees are good, but how you interact with your employees, how you listen to them, how you listen to their problems, how you give rewards, punishment, well, once in a while is all right, but punishment is not everything. When it's rewards, it's we, right? So that's how I think it's how to grow the people.
I think I just want to take one more thing which you mentioned, that was about the reward system. You said that normally in the organizations 10 to 15% people are rewarded very high, and you said that average and mediocre, they should be taken care of more. I think different companies have different models, and yes, normally 50% of the company population are the average people, but they are the backbone of the organization. They actually run the organization. Yes, they are the doers, they do the job. So if somebody is average, I think we should not treat them that they are just average. They are the backbone of the organization. They are important. But of course, you have to distinguish between your stars and between your non-stars, So the 20-25% of your population, they are really, one is the superstar and the others are the stars, and then these are the other people, And yes, I think some companies have bell curve, and some have a very proper bell curve, 20% on top and 20% here and then rest in the middle. So there are different models, different organizations are following. But I tend to agree that the entire compensation system, reward system should be based on performance. It should be performance-based, task-oriented, Only then the organizations are going to prosper, do better. And if you do not distinguish between the doers and non-doers, organization will not prosper. And one of the examples I can quote, many of our public sector organizations today suffer because of this. So I think that is extremely important. I think I move on, otherwise we will just keep talking.
Thank you, sir. First of all, if you have carefully listened to the speech of Kaleem sir, then he has covered all the important aspects of human resource management. I would like to add a few things, but before that, I think since it was started by a lady, then I think that it is being tried to establish that since the population of female is more than 50% in Pakistan, so in corporate world there should be more than 50% female population. Personally, I agree to that because in our society, women are more wiser compared to us. I honestly admit. Because I earned with great hard work, and there is a lady who spends all the money throughout the month. So it is an easier role. So if they want to change the role, I'm happy to take that role. Anyways, I mean, yes, it is important that women should come forward and take the leading role, and it is happening. And there are a few good examples in Pakistani companies as well, where women have led the company successfully. Right, that is one point. Now you see the global trend. If you see the global trend, that what's happening globally, that those countries are flourishing who are good in human resource, both in quality as well as quantity. Please don't forget the quantity of human resource. Because for example, USA, they thrived in baby boomer period, where average family size was 6 or 6.5. And now you know that the economic power has shifted from west to east. 70% of global GDP is in Asia, because 70% of global population is in Asia. So population is playing a very key role in the growth of China, in the growth of India, in the growth of Indonesia, all because of population growth rate. One of the major reasons. That is quantity side. Because when human resource is growing, there are lots of needs and wants which are growing, and then marketeers and engineers come to meet those demands. And the reason why many industries shifted from America and Europe to China and Asia, mainly because those industries were redundant. For example, toy industry and electronics industry, they became redundant because of the changing demographic profile of the population. So this is very important point. Now regarding human resource practices, I don't want to bore you, but now one thing I would tell to my younger people, that please don't expect from the organization that they are going to promote you every second year. It is not possible. You need to understand that. Particularly after the invention of computer, organizations are mainly three-layered organizations. And the designations like assistant manager, deputy manager, honestly, these are just to please you. Otherwise, organizations are truly three-layered organizations. This hard fact we need to understand. And what I have seen in my professional career, that people leave an organization in frustration, and Khalil Sahib has rightly said that major reason may be the boss. But I have seen people who have changed the organization, but they change at least 2-3 organizations just to come at the previous satisfaction level. So, I mean, this cognitive dissonance, which is normal in human beings, should be controlled. And it's not that you will always in your life, you will see that there are few people who are always ahead of you, there are few people always behind you. So that is a balance in life, and that is the beauty in life that we need to understand. In human resource practice, one practice which I have seen very common in multinational companies, that is not much common in Pakistan. We are talking about retention, and multinational companies and transnational companies, they have gone beyond retention. Even if a person leaves the organization, then human resource manager is constantly in touch with that person. And in good organization, 90% of people take back to the organization, and organization prefer them to take them back. This is not being practiced in Pakistan very commonly, but I think this should be practiced. And this is a very good human resource practice which should be adopted. One last point, sir, with your permission, that is industry and academia gap. For example, we are supporting to different universities in their different education programs, But it is very frustrating that when we contact them for some technical solution, they don't have technical expertise. This industry gap can only be fulfilled if those in education line, they understand what's happening in industry. Otherwise, this gap will remain same. And also, please, also this point is very important in this era, that now it is those days are over that you did your engineering or MBA or PA, you started your career and ended up as general manager of a organization after 30 years. Now you need to learn the tools of trades quickly, fastly, and on daily basis, because things are changing on daily basis. So, for example, I would quote a social scientist, Carl Sagan, who said that when industrial revolution started, every 100 years knowledge base doubled, and then every 20 years knowledge base doubled, then every 3 years knowledge base doubled. Now every 2.5 months knowledge base is doubling. So if you have not updated yourself on a topic in last 3 months, then chances are that your knowledge base is outdated. So this is a continuous challenge. You need to update yourself, and no institution can provide you that update every day. This is your personal obligation. So this one should understand. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Unless anybody wants to make any comment, I think it was really
Basically, the honorable members of the panel have discussed many core issues of the related problems in Pakistan. I represent and our challenges are very commonly spread through newspapers, media, and here is illustrated everywhere. Until you do any corporate failures, it is very easy to cry, very difficult to change. We at Pakistan Security Printing Corporation has managed some 10 years back. We have a visionary named Sayyid Naseem Ahmed, ex-chairman of LIBS, who gave us the vision for change and who motivated and convinced all the employees of the PC who were recognized for their slackness, their ineffective working, and their heavy waste. This was our history. This was our recognition. Many cases reported by the authorities against the employees, and their sacking was also carried out. During the last 10 years, we have changed the mindset. And in my last, we prepare a magazine named Chaman, Change Management. We collected the first three alphabet of both words and we call it Chaman. In Chaman, I wrote a story about a sweeper in our organization. When I joined the organization some 10 years back, he was used to sleep in the corridor and along with the all rubbish stuff over there and oil sprays, eggs and everything was there. Just few months back when I was visiting the same corridor again, I saw a small handwritten chit over there. Is pe likha tha yahan thukna mana hai. It was the same person. The area was clean like anything, and I wish I could invite all the to come and see the standards of Pakistan Security Printing Corporation right after 10 years. We have not done anything except for the few inductions for any technical staff, mostly engineers, accountants, MBAs. But in the lower category, we have restricted ourselves to reduce the size of the organization and to prepare the change, convince the people for the change. We did a SWOT analysis of the organization, we saw the opportunity threats, we prepared short-term plans, not long-term plans, short-term plans, SMART goals. And we started appreciating people. Whosoever has achieved anything
and can explain it and come and tell us that yes, I have done this change, we appreciated it. We introduced a simple cycle experiment by mithai, by giving a 1 kg bag of mithai to a person who has done something at least. You know, this was a revolutionary step. Now, our organization is ISO certified. We comply to the 9,000 and 14,000 norms. We have changed 7 denominations in 1 year, the design of the denomination, while on the other hand, USA was the only country in the world who was able to change the design of the currency notes, only 2 denominations. And this was simultaneously done. The old design was in printing, and we, on the same machines, our people, our workman, our human resource was able to deliver the task, and they changed. Believe me, there are thousands and thousands of success stories of our organization. I tell you, we can share with you. The real learning was that if you communicate properly, if you see your organization and problems and peoples and their capabilities, and you know what you have to perform, where they need some help, and what is the right kind of help. This is a HR or an HR practitioner who should be able to see through the people, who should feel the requirement and bring the change in. Pakistan has to change. Pakistan has to improve. Believe me or not, it will be only through the human resource professionals who can deliver the job. Seriously, make this country जो हमारे ख्वाहिदीन का ख्वाब हम नहीं कर पाए, तो दुनिया में कोई टेक्नोलॉजी, कोई बड़ी से बड़ी फाइनेंशियल हेल्प नहीं चेंज कर सकती. इट इज वी हु कैन चेंज. मैं समझता हूं एक एचआर मैनेजर को अंदर ये कैपेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए कि वो अपने लोगों की जरूरियात पर नजर रख सके, वो उनकी सलाहियतों को सही तौर पर असेस कर सके, उनकी ट्रेनिंग नीड्स की प्रॉपर इवैल्यूएशन कर सके, और उस ट्रेनिंग को फैंसी ट्रेनिंग बनाने के बजाय प्रैक्टिकल ट्रेनिंग बनाए, उसकी इफेक्टिवनेस को जानकर देखे. ये सर्वाइवल ऑफ द टफेस्ट का जमाना है. बीबी की बहुत अच्छी बातें हैं कि न्यू हमारे जितने स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ रहे हैं उनको भी वो एजुकेशन मिलनी चाहिए जो हमारे इदारों में इस्तेमाल हो रही है. बहुत अच्छी बात है. लेकिन इस वक्त मसला तो हमें ऐसे हाजिर का कि कंपटीशन इज रेजिंग डे बाय डे, taken the world by storm. Producers are in trouble and challenges China. China manufacturers are in day. They have challenged the US economy. What to talk about Pakistan? And our next door neighbor India is also producing, Indians has just an idea. If you search on the net, you will find thousands of companies belonging to the very few Pakistan. But they have the caliber. Pakistani professionals have the caliber. It's we HR people who should groom them, who should invite them, who should train them, who should provide the career counseling to them. That's the key. Where we need to change. Thank you very much.
You have made some very nice. I think we have more panelists, and in the end, I will just if you can comment the already said topics or issues, or if you like to say something new from your side.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Avari, and I represent WonderTrade.com over here. Now we, as already communicated, we have pretty much covered a lot of issues. Coming from my background, that is IT online businesses, I think the problem that we actually face is the training of resources. be career counseling. I think there's a huge gap in the career counseling of resources in the corporate environment as well as in the academia. A lot of people who come for an interview and they do not have any